Hello there, people of the internet. It has come to my attention while I was, collecting my collection that I got a lot of pretty gosh darn cheap firearms in my collection. So I figured I'd throw them all in a video and I would show you guys guns that you can get right now for under $100 as of 2024 time of recording this. It is the 4th month of 2024. So the prices might change as time goes on. Who knows what's going to happen? But this is my list of 5 firearms you can get right now for under $100 just by looking around. This right here is a Savage Model 64. You can also find the Model 62s. They could be made by Savage or Lakefield or Stevens or Winchester or basically anyone like that. There's kind of a plethora of 22 long rifle semi-automatics out there on the market, and this is a really good example of one. This is basically on par with what you would see. You're going to see either tube-fed ones that you got to feed one round at a time through the tube, or more likely a magazine-fed, like what I have right here. This one holds 10 rounds, semi-automatic, pull the trigger, it goes bang, cycles every time. This is a straight blowback system, so there's no locking lugs or anything on the inside. That keeps the price nice and simple, or nice and low, because the design is nice and simple. The sights are adjustable right here for elevation, and the front sight for windage, so you can zero it to whatever ammunition it is that you're using. Safety right here, nice and simple, safe, and fire. The trigger on this is alright. I have not taken it out to the range to actually inspect its accuracy, but from what I've been able to gather with the people I've talked to about these rifles, they are fairly good for the price. These normally run about like brand new around that $99 price point, but I actually picked this one up for 80 bucks out the door. No questions asked, because it was on the used market. If you manage to get one of these used, then hats off to you. You're probably going to pay less than that $100 price point, and that leaves you plenty of money to go out and get yourself some ammunition for the firearm as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the Savage Model 64, just this kind of general genre of 22 long rifle semi-automatic platform. They're all over on the market. You can literally just go look online and look up to see what kind of options are out there and available for you. This right here is the one I went with because it just so happened to come up in my everyday adventures. Okay, keeping up with the 22 long rifle endeavors, with lack of better terminology, this right here is a Heritage Rough Rider. This right here is clearly modeled after a Colt Single Action Army 1873, but it's definitely not like identical. Like, there's a safety on this, parts aren't interchangeable. This is not one of those, but it's clearly modeled after that. What this is this is a single action only loading gate operated, I guess, loading gate operated revolver, which means that you gotta put one round in, knock one round out at a time with your ejection rod. You can't just open up the cylinder and load all 6 rounds with a speed loader or something like that. This right here is chambered in 22 long rifle. You can get conversion cylinders to chamber these for 22 Magnum, but that's going to cost you a little bit more money than the 22 long rifle variant, because you got to get that conversion cylinder as well. I picked this up for $99 out the door at my local gun store. They normally run about that price, brand new, but this one had fancy grips, and it's a little bit nicer than some of the lower tier Heritage Rough Riders that I've seen out there on the market. It's got nicer finish, it's just better machined, etc., etc. So this one right here was a little bit more on the pricier side, but it was still under that $100 price point. So even though this right here is used, I got it for under 100 bucks. You could get them brand new for under that $100 price point. Literally just go look online, and I'm sure that you'll be able to find something, or go down to your local gun store and be like, hey, I want one of these. Can you order it for me? And they'll probably be able to order you one in. Huge win with these. They're normally pretty gosh darn accurate, pretty gosh darn reliable. I have heard nothing but good things about these Heritage Rough Riders. So if you don't have one in the collection, then you should probably go out and get one, because they're not overly expensive. Alright, number 3 on the list, it's kind of another genre, I guess. This right here is a couple of Saturday Night Special handguns. If you have somebody trying to sell you a Saturday Night Special handgun for more than $100, like, I've seen them sell for stupid prices, and people are willing to pay those stupid prices, which is absolutely insane to me. I saw one of these sell at an auction one time for $500. Like, literally, it was one of these. It was one of these Lorsons. We'll talk more about the model in a second. But don't pay stupid amounts of money for these, especially because you can get them for really, 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 really cheap because they're really, really cheap handguns. As a matter of fact, I got these as a gunsmith special. I paid $8 a piece for them because that was what the gun dealer had to pay for whatever kind of transfer it is that they were doing in order to get these signed up for me. But they wanted them out of their inventory because they did not feel comfortable selling them, because these right here are notorious for flying apart upon firing because they are made with essentially cast metals. These were intended to be disposable handguns. Right here we got the FIE Titan 25 ACP, made in Italy. This is actually my first concealed carry handgun just because it was all that I had. I'll take 25 ACP over nothing, although it was definitely not ideal. This one is reliable and it's accurate. I've shot it on the gun channel plenty of times. I've shown it off plenty of times. Whenever I fire 25 ACP through these, I don't necessarily feel uncomfortable with it just because of the lightweight nature of that cartridge. Now, I do have a Lorsen that is a 9mm. That one is a little on the sketchier side because 9mm is way more powerful than 25 ACP, and you start to really lean into the more dangerous side of things. But Saturday Night Special handguns, these right here are definitely something that you can find for under that $100 price point, assuming that you are coming across somebody who's not asking stupid amounts of money for it, who just so happens to come across somebody who is willing to pay stupid amounts of money for it. It's really crazy the amount of money that I have seen some of these go for. So that is kind of this genre. I'm going to go ahead and throw high point into this genre as well. You can find yourself used high points out there on the market, especially the 380 variants for like under that $100 price point. And they're kind of made of the same materials. High point alloy is a little bit better, but it's still like a cheaper cast metal. It's still not the greatest. High Point kind of adds more metal onto their slide. That's why they look funny. They add more metal onto their slide for their Saturday Night Specials just to make them more durable, if that makes sense. That's why they can have High Points that shoot like 45 and things like that. It has more weight and it's more durable because there's more material. So that's that category. That is your sub $100 option right there. Alright, moving on to the next one, we have ourselves the Carano rifle. Carcano, however it is you feel like pronouncing that. People always yell at me for pronunciation. I'm just going to call them Carano because that's what I've been calling them for my entire life. So these right here have been imported into the country from Italy as of recent, and they're being sold for pretty gosh darn cheap. There's a couple of companies out there that sell them, and they do sell them for discounted prices, like they'll have flash sales and whatnot. I know Royal Tiger Imports, Classic Firearms, Atlantic Firearms, probably a couple of others, J&G Sales, etc., etc. They have been selling these, and they will do flash sales where these can be bought for under that $100 price point. As a matter of fact, I got like 5 of these, and I bought them while Royal Tiger Imports was having a $99 flash sale. So I got 5 Carcanos for $500. I'm not complaining about that at all. There's different models out there that you can get. There's the troop special models, there's the long rifle models, there's, carbines, there's these bayonet having cavalry carbines, which were actually used for people on bicycles. There's M38s, those are a 30 caliber versus the 6.5 caliber. Like, there's all different sorts of Carcanos that you can get out there. And if you can find them for flash sales whenever they're being sold for quite cheap, then hey, you can get yourself a pretty gosh darn good rifle for under that $100 price point. I got a bunch of these whenever they were being brought in, and yeah, I spent under $100 on my 6.5 bolt action rifle. I actually have not this one right here, but I have a cavalry carbine with a straight bolt handle on it that I got from Classic Firearms. And I got a 6.5 loading for that one that is just absolutely on point. It hits right at point of aim with that one. Normally these Carcanos shoot high just because of the way that the sights are, but for whatever reason, that one in particular just hits right where it needs to be. Alright, up next for another $100 gun. This right here is one I got from Royal Tiger Imports. Again, they do flash sales on their stuff. I recommend keeping an eye on them because they do offer some really, really good things. This right here is a Steyr 8890, but the Steyr M95 is also going to fall into this category. These are chambered in 8x50 Steyr. Kind of a hard cartridge to come across, but they, specifically Royal Tiger Imports, is trying to encourage well, I don't want to say encourage necessarily. They're trying to market a company that is up and coming that's going to be manufacturing this ammunition, so we'll have to stand by and see if the ammunition for this becomes available. If not, then you'll just have to hand load it like I do. This is a rifle. I have shot it on the channel before. This is my 8890 that I've loaded black powder rounds for, and you want to do that for these old school rifles because of, well, they got like a locking block in them versus the turn bolt system that the M95 uses. If you don't want to worry about pressures inside of your rifles, just go with the M95 because that can take standard pressure 8x50 without any issue whatsoever. Especially seeing as those were chambered in 8x56, which was a more powerful variation of the round. I got these on a flash sale. I got 3 of them whenever they were being sold for $99, which was actually really, really nice. So, yeah, I can't much complain about that. I got myself an 8mm rifle for under $100, and it actually shoots, and it shoots really, really well. I'm able to hit things, and it doesn't keyhole, and it's actually in quite nice of shape considering where it is that it came from. So I am very, very pleased with this particular rifle. I even have clips to go with it. Oops, I bumped my camera. I'm sorry about that, guys. So that is my 5 guns for under $100 that you can go out and get right now as of 2024. So thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all in the next episode.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Gary. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.